Right. Okay. There's another week and another race here in League of Ireland for Tier 3. Today we are going to be racing in Australia for the Australian Grand Prix. This is round 3 out of 12 for Season 9. My name is Josh Nair 6000. Here alongside me as always is Cav. How are we today?
Good, Josh. Looking forward to getting the third round underway. Things are obviously starting to shape up in the tier, and
right.
once again we find ourselves in a track where we've raced before, but it comes with a few alterations as we know in this game. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how the lads do around here.
Yeah, we all are. And we do have Cav down on the paddock with Adam Whelan for a little interview before we start the race. Cav, take it away.
We do, and it's nice to get obviously one of the more popular men up and down the paddock. Adam, how are we?
Good, how are you?
Very well, and I believe before we get to the F1, I know you're a big football fan. What do you make of Sunday's action in the Premier League today?
Just shout out Wheelo for Leeds, 3-0 against Chelsea.
Absolutely.
Unreal performance. And,
Easy work for them, huh?
Yeah, just delighted with that, It's made my day.
Great stuff. And tell me about, obviously last week you were in Miami, and I know it wasn't probably a race you had planned. So
I was in a wall.
Yeah, you were indeed. So obviously I assume you're hoping for better this week. But what do you think went wrong for you last week? Was it just lack of practice or tough track for you?
Lack of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's not much more to add.
Are you in better shape for the race this week then? Have you done a bit more grinding, or are we expecting similar results?
Not any more grinding, but I might take it a bit handier around the track.
Yeah.
This is a track I'm actually quick at, so.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
And obviously you'd know it well from previous games, so that's good. Tell me about the season. Obviously it hasn't been the start you wanted. In fairness, you're one of the lads I would have earmarked as, having not only the experience but the pace in this tier, and so far it hasn't gone your way. Have you kind of readjusted your targets for this season, or what you're hoping to achieve?
Yeah, I don't really suit this game, and I don't get along with this game, so I'm kind of just waiting for F1 2023.
There's a few of us already looking forward to it, myself included. What is it about this game you think you're finding tough, Adam? Is it getting the traction down? Is it the feel of the car? Yeah. So the consistency. Do you think you have the pace there? It's just a matter of
I have
tying
the pace.
together?
I just keep spinning
Okay.
and
Well,
crashing, and then getting 30 seconds behind because I have to change the wheel.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for that today. We'll obviously let you go and get ready to start. But thanks for coming in and talking to us. And of course, best of luck in the race, Adam.
Cheers, boys.
Thanking you. Josh, I'll hand back over to you. I believe you found Twin Jean somewhere down the path.
I have indeed. Mr. Jean, how are we?
How are we? I'm not too bad.
Now, you're coming off of a strong weekend. Last weekend in Miami, a P2. Were you happy out with that? Or do you think you could have gotten more? Do you think you could have gotten the win possibly?
I felt like I could have gotten the win if I didn't get the almighty T-bone from Rando, but it is what it is, I've gotten over it, and hopefully I can.
Sure, we'll take a P2 any day.
Yeah, P2 is still a good point. So
yeah, what do you think of Australia? How do you find the track? Do you think you have a better chance at the win today, or just, how do we feel today?
Looking at it last week, I was like top 5 maybe. That's possible. It's easy to do. And now after going through it and stuff, I think a win podium is pretty doable now. So
all right, very good. It's very good that you're confident. And I know it's only going into the third round. How do you feel for the championship? Do you think you're confident enough you can be in the top few spots, or possibly even go for the championship win this season? How do you feel for that?
I'd say I might be a bit cocky, but I'd say I could win it. Like it's
we love it. We love the confidence. That's what we want to hear.
I was hoping to come in last season and just absolutely obliterate everyone, but that obviously didn't happen. But yeah, this season I feel like with a season under my belt now, I have the experience there now to actually not get in my head too much to where I'm like behind someone for like a whole race and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Like I'm able to actually like just concentrate and just get the laps in and just wait for him to make a mistake and capitalise on it.
Exactly, that's great. Anyway, we're happy that you're confident, and we'll let you head on down to the grid and get ready for the race. So thanks for thanks for hopping in with us.
See you later.
Right, and we have one more guest today. He'll be staying with us for the duration of the race. It is our expert, Tommy. before we get the race going.
You're setting up the lobby, Josh. Tommy, how's things?
Not too bad, Cav. How's all? Keeping well?
Very well, very well. I'm looking forward to this, I'm sure, like yourself. Tommy, for the lads who are new into League of Ireland, maybe just give yourself a little bit of introduction there, a little bit of background, your own tier and results over the last while and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so obviously I'm known as LOI Tommy in League of Ireland. I've been in LOI since season 4. Started off in tier 2, and then I was up to tier 1, and I've been in tier 1 since season 5 until now, which is season 10. So it's been good, it's been fun, it's been obviously highs and lows that come with it, but I'm enjoying the racing as always,
Great. And what would you say to the new lads coming into the league this season? We've obviously recruited a hell of a lot of lads in the last kind of 3 or 4 weeks with the new game launching. What advice would you give to anyone new starting now?
Just, don't be putting yourself under pressure, obviously when you're new to the game it's a different story, you just need to get yourself on your own 2 feet, you know what I mean? Just get settled, and then like the results and the improvements will come just with time. You just need to have patience, and nobody's going to be Slater after 4 or 5 races, you know what I mean, at that pace.
Hopefully not.
So, yeah, exactly. So it just takes patience and time, and then you manage to work your way up.
Yeah. And looking specifically then in tier 3 tonight, and obviously we're now at round 3, is there any drivers you've picked out that have kind of impressed you over the last 2 rounds, or that you expect to go very well tonight?
Yeah, one in particular, Shane. Shane was very good last race. I was watching the race, and
Shane won't be here tonight. He's in tier 2.
Oh, he's got moved up, did he?
He did, yeah.
We've gotten rid of Shane. He didn't stand back quick enough.
I'm not really surprised because his pace was outstanding, for tier 3. So, other than Shane, I'm actually interested to see, especially around this track, I'm interested to see how Sanko does, because I'm always one to be looking at speeds and into the elementaries during the races. He was running a very fast car in Miami, so I'm interested. Obviously, Australia's a similar track to Miami in terms of the setup of the track, so I'm interested to see how he does with his setup and that, how fast he will be.
Brilliant. And look, obviously we will come back to you over the course of qualifying, which has just got underway, and so far thank you very much for all your contribution. It's nice to have a proper expert in. We've obviously had Time Splitter and Gary Drow over the last 2 weeks, so a real expert is always good to have, so we look forward to having you back later in the session.
No problem. Cheers, lads.
Thanks, Davy.
Thank you very much, Tommy. And yeah, qualifying has started. We have our first car, the Williams, out on track. Only 15 drivers today, which is a little bit disappointing, but sure, look, we're not going to be looking for any more excitement today. I'm sure this race is going to have a lot of safety cars, a lot of carnage, a lot of everything really. I think we'll have a great race and a good qualifying as well. It's a very tricky track to get a perfect lap around, but once you do nail it, it can be hard for many other people to beat it.
Absolutely.
But we do have LOI Nolan in his Williams coming around the final corner, and as always, Cav, why don't you take us away on a lap of Australia with Nolan?
Down the back straight, obviously DRS wide open, and you're looking to take this first corner usually in 4th or 5th depending on your setup. Get the power down as early as you can. Easy to lose the rear, as I think someone already has there.
Yeah, that's A-wheeling already.
Yeah, absolutely, on the exit of 2. Hard braking zone into 3. 4 comes quite quickly. Trickier corner than it looks, usually taken in 4th gear, careful on traction, and then you're looking to take what I think is probably my favourite turn in the track, turn 5, flat out, but only if you're brave enough. 6, we're into kind of the new section now as we come around here, and 7 and 8 come very fast. You are coming to the end of sector 2, and you're going to come to the DRS detection zone into the dreaded 9 and 10, and this is where I expect over the course of the week we're gonna see mistakes. He usually drop 2 gears to get enough rotation. He does indeed, and on that exit curve there, very dangerous. Takes it really nicely though, and up into 8th gear. Obviously DRS now wide open. We'll probably see a few overtakes into this new right-hander, turn 11. Very much you can get 2 cars through there if you like during the race, so we will see, I'd say, a few opportunities. 13 now, we're into heavy braking zone again, and here's one of the hardest traction zones on the track. You obviously want to get the power down, but very tricky and very easy to lose the rear. As you come through 14, DRS wide open and flat to the line, and that's a 1:18.7 for LOI Nolan, formerly known as King Papa.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for
There
the
you
information
go.
there.
A little
Kev.
bit of trivia for the boys.
We have O'Connor. I don't know if he had a quali ban. I think it was in the pits. He retired. Roswell's getting a new provisional pole. 18.7, just ahead of Nolan there. Kay Flemo splitting them both. So 3 times already that are very, very close together, within 100 of a second of each other. So
Absolutely.
if that's what we're going to see throughout the qualifying, it's going to be a very interesting one.
And if I remember correctly, A. Whelan said to us when we talked to him on the grid, he was going to take it easy and make sure he doesn't spin. That lasted for all of 1.5 corners, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think that's someone else gone. That's an Alpha Tauri gone round in the background there.
Yeah, it's Rian.
It is Rian,
And
yeah.
he is facing the wrong way. He just needs
You
to be
want to
careful he
get
doesn't
facing the right
compromise anyone. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want to get disqualified either. That can be a nightmare if you're going
Very
the wrong
easy
way.
to do in this game, alright.
Yeah. Get to
And
face
we
the
are
right
up
way.
to 16 drivers now because Pa Kenny has joined us, so that's good to see. An extra man on the grid in the
Better late than
Mercedes.
never. DKF won a 19.2, so he moves himself up into P5. So yeah, it's definitely looking like it's going to be a very interesting qualifying. So Twin Gene, yeah, he's on an in lap, I believe. A few people out on laps at the moment. We're going to see times flowing in. Sanko, he's invalidated. I think he's going to go for a second lap. We do have Kachiga, Godel Kachiga. We had him in for a pre-race interview last week. Let's see how he does now for his banker lap. It's a 1:18.6. He goes provisional pole.
Wow.
That's a very, very good lap for Kachiga.
Yeah, maybe he shouldn't talk to us before a race
Maybe.
because that is a really good effort for him. Head
Very
down
good,
and
yeah.
really good focus lap.
Yeah, it's a very impressive lap for Kachiga. I don't want to say I wasn't expecting that, but I don't think anybody was.
No, I don't even think Kachiga was himself, so
Yeah.
it's great for him to have that as a very quick banker early on. So.
Yeah, that'll be a boost of the confidence now as well for him to go on to a second lap. So we do have Sanko now. He is on a lap after invalidating his first one. He's going to go for a second one, see what he can do. Oh, and he
he's also
spun
on
it
the
round.
exit.
Oh, I
And
think
he survives. Yeah.
into the wall he went, but sideways. Luckily for him, he keeps the car going.
Yeah.
And he'll be able to try again, but I think that was maybe the worn out tyres from the first lap, and a mixture of getting on that the right hand curb just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous one. If you clip it the right way, you'll be fine, but if you clip it the wrong way, which is very easily done, which we'll see in the race a good amount of times, you can end up in that wall, as we've seen there, Sanko. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah. And Ducky now is on a lap in the Alfa Romeo.
Yes.
Certainly a driver who has lots of pace. Hasn't really gone his way in the first 2 rounds so far, but we know he's quick.
Yeah, especially from a man who used to be in Tier 2 last season. We know he has the pace to be in the top few in Tier 3. So let's see what he can do here tonight, going in probably one of the most difficult parts on the track. Takes the first part of it very nicely, and the exit very nicely as well. Gets
Really
over that
good.
curb very, very nicely. And down he goes with the DRS on. And yeah, this new corner here, I feel going side by side it can be done, but it can be quite difficult because of the way the curb sticks out. I think we'll see a lot of people going around the outside there into the gravel. But we'll see in the race. Here we go. DRS on for TM Ducky. He's going to cross the line. What can he get himself? He can get himself at 18.9, up into P5 for Ducky. So not a bad one at all for him to have a banker on.
Yeah, and that top 6 literally separated by 3/10 at the moment, so very close.
Yeah.
And King Papa,
Oh,
or LOI Nolan,
yeah.
has retired.
Yeah. Off the exit of turn, I think it was turn 1 or 2, was it?
Yeah, just 1 into 2 exactly.
Yeah. Very unfortunate for him there. Sure, look, there's no points for qualifying. Needs to keep the head up.
At least he got a banker in, but he'll be
Yeah.
disappointed. Obviously, in that first set of runs, he was right up there, and with the track starting to evolve, this been a street circuit as well. And we've a stricken Aston Martin there, do we? No, he's just getting out of the way. Good stuff. It will mean the times come down quite quickly.
I think someone who looks like they're on a very good lap is OP Gamer here. Mr. Gamer going through. Very tricky chicane there, yeah. Gets it nicely onto the DRS.
And while you're watching that, Blue Gunner has set a 19.6, so P10 at the moment.
No mediums for Blue Gunner this year. I'm sure he's heartbroken with the whole breakup, but I'm sure in the race he'll get his money's worth with the with the mediums. Here we go now, OP Gamer with the DRS on, going across the line. What can we see him getting?
19.1.
19.1, so not a bad lap.
Steady improvement.
Yeah, a 10.5 improvement. I definitely think there's a bit more time in there for him. But
Ian loses it on the last corner, and he's retired as well. Just putting that power down in the tricky section, like I said, and unfortunately, he's gone right around and into the barrier.
Yeah, we've already seen him go around once this session. I don't think he has the practice in. Doesn't have a lot of confidence on this track, it might seem, but yeah, it's unfortunate, especially spinning once in a qualifying session can really bring the confidence down, but then a second one can kill you.
And we've Griffin in Sector 3 at the moment. Griffin's an interesting driver. I think he's been really making huge forward steps this season. We've seen already his pace as he reserved in the first round in Spain.
Yeah.
And now he's a full-time driver in this tier and looking very nice as he comes onto the main straight.
He is indeed. Griffin gonna cross the line. What can he get himself? A very good time in 18.5. Kachiga has been dethroned from provisional pole.
Long live the king.
Exactly, and Kachiga, he's on an outlap, so he'll want to get that time back, get that provisional pole back. But a very good time from Griffin there.
Okay, Flemo is just invalidated on the exit in Sector 2, and he was 2/10 up, so that's a shame for him.
We have DKF1 going across the line. Oh, it's I think he might have aborted his first lap. He's going to go for a second one though. He has the ERS charged up nicely. Yeah, you'd want to hope so, but
yeah,
you'd
looks
assume.
like one of my laps. Whenever. So yeah, we're well over halfway through this quali session, and so far, and DKF1, as we speak of him, loses it in Sector 1.
He does indeed. And here is Glenn Mack now. Glenn Mack nearly 2/10 up on his time. Glenn Mack, another driver, very, very quick. He has the potential to be winning races, but he just needs to keep that consistency going during the race. Here he goes, crossing the line. What can he get himself? He can get himself an 18.7. Very, very close lap times. There's four drivers in the 18.7s, so
18.7s are in fashion now, right?
Yeah, it's a new fad.
Absolutely, and we've a few lads now out on laps at the moment.
I think Blue Gunner on 3-lap old softs. This isn't going to end well for Blue Gunner, I wouldn't say.
You must think they're mediums.
Yeah. He's too used to those yellow tyres. He going for 3 laps. Oh, is that a yellow flag? Is that someone else gone? No, just seeing things.
Yeah, just Ducky getting out of the way. He is on an out lap, I think, at the moment. He's certainly backed off the lap he's on anyways.
So Blue Gunner now going through. He seems to be taking it quite easy. But the really old softs, they'd be very worn by now. Let's see how he does. Yeah, very wide and very deep through the next part of it.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him abort this lap at the end, and
yeah,
certainly now you would imagine he'll box and get himself one more good timed run in, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, he has a good bit of time to get another lap in, unless he's going to go straight away. No, he's going into the pits.
My crystal ball worked. Okay, in you go, Blue. And have we anyone on track at the moment? We've Roswald, yeah. And he's also going into the pits, yeah. So
we have two people on outlaps, and everybody else is in the pits. So it'll be OP Gamer. Oh, has he got a Dissa next? No, he hasn't. OP Gamer. On he goes onto his lap. Turn 1 and 2, very nicely taken by him there. This could be a very nice lap. quite a hard one there to get. Is that you need to get on the throttle very nicely here as well. Like have your favourite corner there. Very tricky one indeed to go flat out. If you get on that inside curb, you can see yourself into the wall.
I just think it's a lovely corner. I just think it's one of those where you get it right, you can carry all the speed right up, and particularly with the way the track is now, that you can carry the speed right onto the next set of windy straights. You can really take the advantage with your lap if you get that part nailed.
Oh, and into the grapple he goes.
Wide, yeah.
He took the first part of it very nicely, but just the second part he went a bit too deep, and into the gravel he went.
Oh, Pat Kenny is lagging, because on my screen he went into the wall, but he hasn't at the moment.
Oh yeah, his internet is looking fairly dodgy on my screen as well.
Yeah, I promise you I'm not going mad.
Yeah, not yet anyway. It's only third round, Cap.
Give me till round 6.
Yeah.
So Pat coming through the last couple of corners. How will this lap time shape up?
I don't think it's going to be a very competitive one.
19-1, so he just sneaks ahead of DKF1 and Blue Gunner, but there's definitely a lot more time in that lap.
Yeah, 100%. We have a lot of people on out laps now, so we'll see the times start to flow in. We'll see provisional pole being changed a lot. We'll see TM Ducky exploring track limits there a little bit, going over the red part of the curb, bouncing the car about. Don't really want to be going near that. You want to get as close to it as you can, but you don't want to be going over it. And Kay Flemo also on a lap as well, so Kay Flemo looking fairly competitive as well. In P4, but very, very close to P3, which is Roswell, only 2/10 off of pole, a provisional pole.
Yeah.
So let's see what he can get. Oh no, I think he's aborted his lap. He seems to be warming up the tyres, and he seems to be he has the red light on, saving his ERS. So he's
waiting for the right time to start his final run, I would say.
He is.
Glenn Mack is a 10th down in sector 2. So it doesn't look like he's going to be improving unless he has a mighty sector 3. It's a really nice line through the new corner.
All or nothing here for Glenn. Doesn't have enough time to go on for a new lap. Here he goes to the last corner, onto the DRS. Can he get ahead of Nolan? He can indeed.
Does, 18.6.
Very good sector 3 indeed. Open to P3 for Glenn Mack for now.
Yeah, and he might have time to go recharge the battery and have one more run.
He may, yeah. Kachiga on a lap, so we'll keep an eye on that. Kay Flemo also on another lap. TM Ducky gonna finish out his lap here. Onto the DRS. He hasn't been improving his time too much. What can he get? Oh, he's down to 6 seconds.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And he won't have enough ERS to go again, so that's TM Ducky stuck where he is.
So Flemo is exactly level pretty much through sector 1. Let's see what he can do through sector 2 as he runs into a small bit of traffic. Doesn't compromise him, just gives him a scare. And now into 9 and 10, how's his line? Downshifts twice, carries speed through nicely, but he's too wide. He hangs onto his lap though.
He does.
Stewart's inquiry, but that's fine. Let's see how he does now through the new corner. It's okay. Carries good speed through there. And now the final 2 corners. You can literally lose a half second through here without even realising. And on power,
and he has spun around.
It.
Very unfortunate, as you said. You can lose all your time from those last 2 corners, getting on the throttle just a little bit too early as Kay Flemo there.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate for him. We do have a lot of people on laps.
Sanko is 3/10 up in sector 1 at the moment, but Griffin, after finishing sector 2, is 2.5 tenths up again. But he's gone wide on the exit of 10. Holds on to the lap though. Say nothing and keep the foot to the floor. Will he still be ahead when he gets to the line is the question. Or has he lost time in that poor exit? Let's see. Down into third gear he goes. Very few drivers choosing to go down as far as second. Gets the power down well, transfers the weight well. Oh, Roswald nips pole for now.
Can Griffin take it back? No, he improves by a little bit. But Roswald on provisional pole. And Kachiga isn't going to be improving on his time. He's 3/10 down. Can anybody else take it off from K. Flemo or Sanko?
No, Sanko's made a mistake, so he's not going to improve either.
Twin Gene, could he be a competitor for it? He's 1.5 tenths up in Sector 2. Going into Sector 3, he could have a lot of time to gain in Sector 3, the last few corners.
Yeah.
Going through the new corner is Twin Gene. Takes it decently. A car ahead of him getting out of the way. Twin Gene, it is do or die here for Twin Gene, coming out with the second last corner. Last corner, he spins it round! And that is that for Twin Gene for qualifying, and that is that for everyone in qualifying.
Wow.
And Roswald, yeah, very good qualifying there. Roswald on his final lap, getting pole position, 18.3, a very, very good lap for him. I wouldn't say I'd be getting any closer than that.
Yeah.
And Twin Gene opting to reverse to the finish line. It's an interesting one, but we'll say nothing. So yeah, that's that.
Session.
4 retirees. Nolan keeping his P6 after a very good banker lap. I think he definitely could have been a competitor for pole today without his retirement. And that's that for qualifying. Why don't you take us down the order, Cav?
Pleasure. So Roswald in the Haas with an 18.3, taking his first pole of the season. Close behind him, and probably will be disappointed, is Griffin in the Aston Martin. Kachiga in P3, King Kachiga should I say. P4 we have Glenn Mack, and P5 we have K. Flemo. Otherwise Nolan, formerly King Papa, I'm going to keep saying it because I'm going to have to get used to it, is P6. DKF1 in P7, Sanko in P8, TM Ducky surprisingly down in P9, and Twin Gene, who we spoke to before the race, in P10. OP Gamer reserving tonight in P11. We have Pa Kenny in P12, Blue Gunner in P13, O'Connor in 14th, Whelan in 15th, and Marine in 16th, none of which set a time. And the Fonz joins late. He is going to line up P17. And yeah, what a session. So I think it's about time we got in our expert. He's sitting in the wings, I assume, Tommy Waiting, to give us his verdict on what was an interesting qualifying session. What do you make of that, Tommy?
Yeah, very good qualifying session. Obviously, a lot of lads, as you said, Josh, 4 lads been in it. A-Whelan didn't even, I think he made one corner and he was around on his own. Unfortunate for Adam.
I love that's the first thing you pointed out that has made my day.
First thing I noticed, first thing I had wrote down. No, but in terms of the final laps, a lot of lads were actually on the lap and then they invalidated and then they didn't have enough ERS on their final run to really make any margin, you know. So obviously Roswald bit underneath the radar. I didn't even see him on his lap. I think he was on board with Griffin when he set his lap, so fair play to him, you know, good effort from him. I'm interested to see, obviously, Sanko, he had a bit of a scruffy qualifying, he didn't really get a clean lap together, and then Reen and Adam as well, they'd be coming from the back, so be watching them coming through the field as well, you know.
Absolutely. And what do you think is strategy around here, Tommy? What's your knowledge of the track? Is it a soft medium, medium hard? What's usually the quickest? I know safety cars can throw a few bits of spice into the mix, but in an ideal world?
In an ideal world with no safety cars, for instance, I would say a hard medium, but just because of the nature of the track and it being so quick and unforgiving, I'd be inclined to go medium hard. That would be my preference, personally.
Very, very good. And for the lads starting towards the back, anyone looking to do a contra strategy, is anything like a 2-stop possible, or is it really just a matter of kind of seeing how it goes?
It depends on it depends on how the race pans out. You could just end up doing a 2-stop just because of the safety cars and other stuff, you know. But if I was personally, if I was starting from the back, I would be trying to mix it up. I wouldn't be trying to match the guys at the front. I'd be trying to do what they're not doing, let's say, and change it up, maybe start in the hards, even just go easy on the first few laps, 'cause obviously they'd be a bit icy on the first few laps, as you know.
Absolutely. And while we are waiting for the lads to line up as well, as we can kind of see on the stream, lads are obviously now working really hard this year to get temp into the tyres. Any tricks or any preference on the formation lap in terms of, we see some lads dropping down right through the gears, doing burnouts and the likes. We've seen Shane, I think, do a full 360 in Tier 2 last week. Yeah. And some of the lads are obviously weaving heavily on the straight. But what about yourself? What do you think's important?
I really do concentrate on my rears. I'm not so worried about the fronts. The rears is where I really concentrate, try to get them up to at least 90 degrees before we start. But it's easier if you're actually leading the pack because you can slow down, you can do your own thing. But if you're in the middle of the pack, obviously you have to keep up, so you don't really get your own, can't really do your own thing, let's say, you know.
Yeah.
But 90 degrees for the rears, and then obviously just watch your revs, and then away you go. That's what I try to do, you know.
Brilliant, and this is why you're the expert. I'll bring that into my own race on Wednesday. Right, Josh? I'll let you take us away with the lights when you're ready.
Yeah, it's a few people getting disqualified, but here we are on the way. We have the lights going. We have 5 sets of lights. The lights are blank, the cars are moving. We are a go in Australia. Griffin getting a very good start, Roswell getting a very slow one. And alongside,
King Papa up the inside as well.
It's King Papa, and going very deep he is. And I think that's a lot of wings behind, a lot of spinning behind. I think an Alfa Romeo went around in the back. We have Pat Kenny and Kay Flemo very close. Pat Kenny going around the outside of Kay Flemo. Kay Flemo trying to stick it, both of them on the same tyres. A lot of people spinning around, not having the right temperatures in the tyres. We have a McLaren and Blue Gunner. O'Connor versus Blue Gunner here. Blue Gunner trying to stay with him. And the Fawns having a look here. Side by side go Blue Gunner and O'Connor. Blue Gunner comes out better there. And the Haas behind the both of them. Having a little look at this as well. But we do have King Papa on the softs. He wants to make as many positions as possible off the start. Side by side with Kachiga through 9 and 10. Through 9 they go, and King Papa is up ahead, or should I say Nolan. But here comes Kachiga once again.
What a switch back
into P3 he goes. Very good racing by the two lads there, and especially Kachiga. Very good move by him.
Yeah, brilliant action from Kachiga, and doing it on the harder tyre as well.
Further down the field we have a lot of contact. We do have A. Whelan with a penalty, and A. Whelan's gone round. He's gone round on lap 1 already. And he is down into last place in those hard tyres, and a lot of contact ahead of him there.
There's a front wing doing somersaults in the air there on the exit of 13. And A. Whelan, unfortunately, spinning on lap 1 again, so not going his way so far. We've a couple of drivers in the pits as well, Josh. We've Reen and Pat Kenny both look to be in for new front wings. Must have had contact on lap 1.
That is turn 1, the exit of turn 1. He has gone round, and that is a virtual safety car.
Yeah, and unfortunately it's A. Whelan.
Adam Whelan already didn't seem very confident in the interview before the race with yourself, Cav, but it seems to show here in the race. Very unfortunate for himself.
Yeah, I've been chatting to him during the week, and I know he's been finding this new game very, very tough, as a lot of us have been, but I think we all know Adam has the pace. It's just a matter of getting the hours in, and right now I think the inexperience on the new game is shown. Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah, you need to get a lot of practice in, especially on this kind of a track, on this game. With a good few medium speed corners, that's where you're going to be spinning the most.
Exactly, because there's no doubt in his quality. He's been around quite a while, and I've had many a good battle with him myself. He's an excellent driver, but he definitely needs to get a grip of these cars quite quickly.
He does, yeah, and if he doesn't, this kind of thing is going to keep on happening to him in the races. And under a virtual safety car, O'Connor gets a 3-second penalty. So that's an interesting one, virtual safety car seems to be out for a fairly long time.
Yeah, it's still with us.
Griffin crossing the line.
And it's gone, just as we say it. And green flag conditions, we are racing.
We are racing once again, and Kachiga gets a very good restart compared to Roswald here. Might he go for a move here? He will through the inside. Kachiga goes on Roswald. Kachiga spins round, and he's round the wrong way. It was a great move from Kachiga, but just too early on the throttle, and he is round. Very unfortunate for Kachiga. And there's someone else around, Alpha Tauri. That's Glenn Mack gone round.
Oh no. And he is, struggling to get the car going again, but he's away now.
And AC Nolan having a look at Roswell for P2 as Griffin is gone. He's gone 1.7 seconds ahead of the lads here. AC Nolan raring to get past Roswell here as he's on the softer compound tyre. But how long will those softs last is the big question here.
Yeah, so obviously not going with the standard strategy like Tommy had told us about earlier, so he's doing something different to everyone. Be interesting to see how it plays out.
And TM Ducky just going for a move there on Defons on our new corner. Defons very close to him. Going through last couple corners, but TM Ducky seems to be up into P8 ahead of Defons on those mediums. Griffin another fastest lap, but Roswell seems to be rapidly catching up to Griffin here.
Yeah.
Griffin having a little bit of an issue. Nolan on those soft tyres seems to be falling back a little bit. And a poor exit from OP Gamer has allowed K Flemo to be on the back from here. A dive through the inside from K Flemo. And it could be a switch back from OP Gamer here. Side by side they go. And it's a penalty for OP Gamer and P4 for K Flemo. Very nice move from Flemo there.
Yeah, really, really good. And he looks to have good temperature built into those mediums. OP Gamer looks to be struggling a little bit with understeer, so
yeah,
be interesting to see can you come back at him as temperature comes into those tyres as the lap continues. Sector 1 we've a yellow, that's an AlphaTauri around.
Once again, I think.
That is Glenn Mack, yeah it is. Glenn's having a tough race so far.
And Twin Gene now letting off the throttle just a little bit to the back of Defons. He doesn't want any troubles. He might be looking at a move on Defons out of the exit of turn 10.
Oh, and Glenn's around again.
Oh, Glenn having a nightmare here
troublesome
today.
for him, yeah. And Griffin so far with a nice 1.5 second lead.
Yeah, Griffin
comfortable,
having great pace. I think Roswell's fallen back a little bit from Griffin. He was gaining, and now he's lost about half a second in a lap. And he's gaining it back in sector 1. He seems to be very quick, and then sector 2 and 3 he seems to lose the pace a little bit. Does Roswell.
Yeah, Nolan has switched on those softs again because he's just posted the fastest lap so far. And sector 3 yellow, I think, is it? Is it? It is, yeah. Okay. He is struggling.
So, yeah, not a great one for Glenn Mack today. Is another spin for him? Or do we have someone else round? That's
Griffin.
That's Griffin round.
Out of the lead.
And that has changed up the race a lot. Griffin down into P8 after a spin. He was going so well and he just lost the head a little bit and round he goes.
Yeah, he lost it on my favourite corner.
He has indeed. Your favourite corner isn't the favourite corner of a lot of people. But
it's going to be a graveyard for F1 cars this week, and probably my own included. But he's coming back here at Ducky, but has to get out of throttle.
That's off the throttle a little bit. He doesn't want to be going round again. He wants to keep it safe, but he does have his teammate just behind him now into the DRS of him. That has changed up this race a lot, having Griffin spinning. But you never know, it's only lap 5, safety cars coming out. If he plays the strategies right, he can definitely still be in with a chance of a podium or a win.
Absolutely. A long way to go so far. And we have someone else around, that's OP Gamer.
OP Gamer. Well, did he hit the wall off the last corner? I'm not sure, but he's struggling to get the car facing the right way. Yeah. And we have two people pitting. We have Griffin, who must have gotten damage, and Kachiga going into the pits.
Yeah, didn't see what happened to Kachiga there, but maybe he's looking at shaking something up. He's going for the hards, so...
Has he gotten damage?
Didn't change his wings, so it doesn't appear so.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. So we have TM Ducky on the hards. The hards seem to be warming up now to Ducky, catching up to the back of Blue Gunner here. Blue Gunner on his favourite yellow tyres, on the mediums of course.
Absolutely.
And Ducky using a lot of his battery compared to Blue Gunner. Blue Gunner having nearly 80% and TM Ducky only having 35, so Blue Gunner being smarter with the ERS. Blue Gunner going very wide actually into the entrance of turn 9.
He has a good run on him. He's going to be level in the braking zone here.
Going to go side by side, a very difficult corner to go side by side, but they make it work. In he goes into P5. TM Ducky making those hard tyres work for him. Let's not count out Blue Gunner just yet. He will have the DRS going down the pit straight, and he'll have the benefit of the softer tyres. Can he get a good exit? No, TM Ducky gets a very good exit compared to him, but he'll be able to use his battery a little bit to keep up with him for the second DRS zone. If he can get a good exit out of turn 2 here, we could see Blue Gunner retaking that P5. As he does get a decent exit, Blue Gunner, but he's not going to use his ERS, and he is seen in position to TM Ducky, it seems.
Yeah, so Nolan hanging on to the back of Roswald still as well on those softs.
He is, yeah.
Expect to see him drop off at some point soon. Yellow flag sector 1, that's an AlphaTauri again. It's Glenn Mack again.
Is it the same AlphaTauri? I think I think it may be, yeah. Might be. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and
is it both of the AlphaTauris gone round?
Oh, there is.
Rian and Glenn Mack. One of them turn 2 and one of them on your favourite corner. Not sure which turn it is exactly, but
I wonder for Glenn, has he gone wrong somewhere in the setup, because there's no way for a driver his quality and experience that he'd be losing the car that much.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And Kachiga has now gone in again and put on a set of softs, so he's using all the tyres so far.
Yeah. Now we have Nolan. He had a little mistake off the second last corner. Still using those soft tyres to his advantage. Seems to have great grip going around the track with them. And we have another yellow flag. Who's that? That's a Mercedes. That's Blue Gunner gone round off the last corner. And that, if he got damage, he's going to have to do a full lap with the damage, and that is going to destroy his race. But here's Nolan still hanging on to the back of Roswald here. Roswald seems to be going very, very strong. A very solid driver. As we saw last week, he got his P3 with penalties. So a very, very good driver, Glenn Mack. Just retiring in the pits. He just didn't seem to have the setup right, as you said yourself, Cav.
Yeah.
Just the car wasn't working for him today.
And what's really interesting at the moment, Josh, is the top 4 drivers all lapping in the 123s, but fastest man on track at the moment, P5, TM Ducky's in the 122s, so he is closing in on the rest of the field at the moment. Those hard tyres starting to come to life.
Yeah, and as we talk of hard tyres, Twin Gene pushing the Haas of the Fonz through the new flat out corner. Turn 9 he goes, they're very close in turn 10. Very close once again off the exit. A very good exit by the Fonz. He may be able to hold on to that P7 for just a little bit longer to Twin Gene behind him. Those hards seem to be working very well for everyone who's on them. And into the pits goes Nolan on the softs. So I'd assume onto the hard tyres for him. And Twin Gene once again getting very close to contact with the back of the Fonz. But he gets a great exit compared to him. Using the ERS, using the DRS. The Fonz doesn't want to fight it. He's not going to use his ERS, and through goes Twin Gene. But a little switchback from the Fonz, and he is back ahead of Twin Gene. Very nicely done. But Twin Gene once again with the help of the DRS and ERS, and he is going to stay behind. So very good battling there by the Fonz, keeping that P6 position for now.
Yeah, and Gene done right to get out of that. He was a little bit too far back to come at the Fonz, but not all's lost. Those hard tyres will continue to strengthen as the Fonzes will surely start to switch off in a few laps' time.
They will indeed. So go through this corner, do this sequence of little kinks. The Fonz seems to be keeping a steady gap of around 3/10 to him, just enough so he can't go for a move on him. But here we go through 9 and 10. The Fonz seems to get a much better 9 and 10 than Twin Gene. Twin Gene struggling a little bit, goes a little bit deep. And the Fonz now keeping a hold of that P6 for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, looks to have a lot more confidence through there, the Fonz. A lot more trust in the car to hold on. And Nolan gets past Blue Gunner, but then goes wide, and now Blue Gunner gets him back.
Yep, there's that experience there from Blue Gunner, holding back, waiting for Nolan. He knew he went a bit deep in that corner. Through he goes, keeps that P9 for now, but a little mistake from Blue Gunner off the second last corner will allow Nolan to catch back up just that little bit. 90% ERS for Nolan and 86% for Blue Gunner, so they're both very, very
stingy.
Yeah,
yeah, they've still got their communion in ERS. Yeah, absolutely. The two lads refusing to use any of it, but
that's for sure.
They're playing the patient game, and fair play to them.
Yeah, and I think Nolan has gone on the mediums, I've just realised.
Yeah, so
I would have thought he'd go on the hards. Too soft strategy for Nolan then he seems to be sticking to. Unless he still thinks it's F1 2021 where you could do a soft to medium, but not in this game, unfortunately, as he's very close to the back of Blue Gunner. Those 8 extra laps of freshness for Nolan seem to be helping them out. As Twin Gene and Defons, once again, this battle has been going on for a few laps now. Around the outside, Twin Gene's going to try and stick it. And as I said earlier on today, very hard corner to go side by side on, and that has shown. Defons just about staying ahead of Twin Gene. This is losing Gene a lot of time. It's lost him about nearly 2 seconds, I would have said.
Yeah.
Throughout this race, but surely he'll get him here. The Ferrari has a lot of overspeed on Defons here, and through he goes into P6, and he has a lot of ground to make up. What a little mistake from him there. Could that allow Defons to catch back up? I don't think he'll want it.
The DRS should protect him. Double DRS here. You get 1 detection zone with 2 helpings, so keeps him going.
And here's Nolan through the inside of Blue Gunner there, and he gets it done. Blue Gunner won't be getting a switchback this time. Through he goes, P9 for Nolan, and Blue Gunner has definitely helped out Roswald a lot if Nolan was trying to go for some sort of an undercut on him. But Roswald now very comfortably in the lead, ahead of K Flemo, and Sanko just in and out of the 1 second range of K Flemo. Doesn't manage to get the DRS this time round, but he'll want to try and keep up with him as best he can.
Yeah, and there's not much between the top 5, all again in the 123s at the moment, and that includes Ducky, whose pace has just dropped off slightly. So very interesting cat and mouse here at the moment between the top 5 drivers. Yeah,
that's right. And Defons seems to be struggling just a little bit. He's fallen back nearly a second from Twin Gene, who's just overtaken him. And OP Gamer now right on the back of the Haas. He'll have the DRS on Defons here. He'll have his ERS as well. Defons is going to try and fight it with his DRS, and he does so successfully so far. And Defons, as you said, he'll get 2 helpings out of the 1 DRS detection zone, and he'll get to use the DRS once again to keep him ahead of OP Gamer for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, and Defons looks quick in a straight line. My DRS is bigger than yours, so he is very safe down those straights at the moment and doing really well to defend from OP Gamer.
Yes, indeed. Oh, Defons lifted off your corner there just a little bit more than OP Gamer. OP Gamer just very close to him, pushing him through the track almost, within a tenth and a half of him, using the ERS just for a split second until he turns it off. Just to preserve it just that little bit to go for a full-on attack on Defons to try and get ahead of him. Because the longer he stays behind Defons, oh, very close to the back of him. A little bit of contact, he stays in that DRS range, but as I was saying, the longer he stays behind Defons, the further away he's going to get from Twin Gene.
Yeah.
And he'll be out with that DRS range, and Defons will come back at him, and off the track he goes just temporarily at OP Gamer, so he's very impatient, it seems, behind Defons.
Yeah, and I think as we approach nearly half distance, Josh, no better time to get our expert in and see what he thinks of the race so far.
Yeah.
Tommy, are you with us?
I am, yeah. Very interesting race so far. Just have my eyes on TM Ducky. He's in 4th obviously at the moment on the hards, but he's only 7 seconds off Roswald, so he's looking good so far, and he's had a pretty clean race. The only thing that's gone against him though is he's running a very high downforce car. He's very slow on the straight line, I noticed, so we'll see if that becomes a problem for him later on in the race, you know.
Brilliant. And anyone down the field looking like they might make some level of recovery? We've obviously Griffin sitting there in 11th. Do you think he can make his way back through the pack?
Yeah, Griffin had very good pace at the start of the race. He obviously just made a bit of a rookie mistake. Obviously he was just pushing that bit too hard, you know, when he could have took the foot off the gas and kind of just took a bit more handy than he should have, you know. But no, he still has plenty of time to recover, you know. Still, I'm not even halfway through the race, so he's still plenty of time to make up the ground, you know.
And I have to ask Tommy, as Kachiga goes in for his 3rd pit stop after 13 laps, what do you think's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know. He was obviously had a very good quality, and
yeah,
I was a bit confused myself when I seen the softs go on. I was a bit of a weird strategy call. He just needs to be careful that he actually doesn't get a lap now, because then obviously if you do get lapped, it's race over nearly, you know. So he just needs to put the foot down now and, you know, stick to his race.
And last question before we let you go, Tommy. We have Nolan in P7 on 5 lap old mediums. Do you think he can get to the end?
I would have thought not, but
Yeah.
again, I could be wrong. You know, it'd be interesting to see if that is his plan to go to the end of those meetings, whether he can do it. I would have thought not personally, but we'll see. You know, he could go back.
Two-stop, you're thinking?
Yeah, it could be. I think he's a two-stop, but you know, could be wrong.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Tommy.
No problem.
And as we were talking, we have for the provisional leads, Twin Gene on Roswald here. Side by side they go, and I think Twin Gene just has the overspeed on Roswell, and there through he goes for P4. It's not for provisional lead, is it? No, it's not. I'm mistaken. Roswell's just being overtaken by Twin Gene there after Roswell pits.
Roswell's come back at him now through the DRS. He's going to launch this down the outside.
He'll want to, because he has Nolan going through the inside of the Ferrari as well. Nolan going side by side with him, pushing him off the track just slightly. But here's Nolan now. This is for the provisional lead. Net lead, I should say.
And what was interesting there was Roswell obviously on brand new hards. We see in the first portion of the lap without the temperature, he dropped right back, and then as soon as he got them fired up, he was able to get his man G in quite quickly.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, heating up the tires is very difficult on this track, or on this game, I should say.
Yeah,
especially if you're going in for if you're going in for the hards, it can be very difficult. But he seemed to get them heated up nicely. I think Kay Flemo, yeah, he's come out of the pits a bit behind the three lads ahead of him. But we'll see now how long TM Ducky goes for. I'd say he'd obviously pit for the mediums rather than the softs. He should be going in the next maybe 4 or 5 laps, I would have said.
And we've Sanko looking to ground the outside of Kay Flemo. He's on 1 lap hard, so again, he has them fired up. Flemo's still trying to get the temperature into those tyres, and you see the advantage.
Yeah, the undercut isn't as strong anymore with those tyre temps, as Sanko has gone through. Or I should say the undercut is strong with the tyre temps now. But a lot of scrapping now for the lead as AC Nolan goes through. He is on the softer tyres, but he is in the net lead at the moment. Roswald, all he wants to do now is stick with him for as long as possible. Use the DRS as much as he can, because he knows that Nolan will have to pit once again, unless he's going to try and stretch out those tyres. I doubt he will. He'll probably be hoping for another safety car to come out to go onto the softs. But for now, he will have to pit again, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and just while we're talking away, I see in the chat that Adam Whelan's made reference to the fact I gave you a little tap in the rear on the safety car last week in Miami. I suppose from Adam's perspective, he'd have to make it to the 4th safety car and not actually cause it to do it himself, but sure, look, never mind. He has turn 1 nailed, hopefully he can nail turn 2 for next week, and that's all I will say about that. Now,
right.
Let's see.
Back to the race.
Back to the action.
That'll keep him quiet now for a little bit. Roswald keeping in that DRS of Nolan. Nolan, of course, will try and get him out of it as quick as he possibly can, as they both nail turn 9 and 10. But Roswald still keeping in that 1 second range, and very nicely so. And Twin Gene as well, with those hard tyres, he is looking quite nice.
And Ducky pits from the lead just while we're watching this, so let's see where he pops out. He took those hards only 15 laps, so this is quite early.
Very early pit stop to be going on the mediums now.
Yeah, I mean, we can see DKF1 and Blue obviously done 15 and now 16 laps for DKF1 already, but yeah, I'm surprised it's a little earlier than I was thinking.
Yeah, for sure. Very early pit stop. Now, DKF1 will lose a lot of positions from staying out that long, but I think he may be looking for a safety car to come out. But Twin Gene now has lost the DRS. Well, he's out of the 1 second range of Roswald. Roswald just about in that 1 second range of Nolan. Actually, now he's out of it. So Nolan will be putting the foot down and trying to gap him as much as he possibly can now for the next few laps that he's going to be on those mediums. So he would need another 12 odd laps in those mediums. That'll bring him up to 20 laps. So he'll be very slow towards the end if he's going to stay out in those mediums, but I'd say it could be done.
Yeah, we're just looking at the relative lap times. Obviously, Nolan hit the fastest lap last time around with a 22.3. I mean, out front, DKF1 is still lapping in the 23.9, so they haven't fallen off the cliff just yet. So it's interesting how all this is going to balance up, and obviously Roswald will fancy himself on those hards in behind Nolan. Maybe
who's that
yellow in
round?
sector 3. Is that Blue Gunner?
I think it's Blue Gunner, yeah. Yeah, once again, Blue Gunner gone round. TM Ducky, Twin Gene into the pits also very early. Would have stayed out a little bit longer on the hards. But into the pits he goes. Very interesting strategies here today.
Yeah, and Griffin now up into P7 at the moment, so starting to work his way back up the order. He's in free air, so we'll see what his real pace is now as he tries to chase down Flemo. And we have Twin Gene around on the exit of 1.
Oh no, Twin Gene just on those fresh mediums. Very unfortunate for him, and I think now as we're speaking, Sanko's getting himself a penalty. As we're speaking, I think I've gotten my maths completely wrong. We only have another 10 laps. Jeez, am I losing it? No, I don't think I'm losing it, no.
11 on the bit.
Yeah, we better bring in our expert here to tell us how many laps of the race are remaining. Tommy, what can you tell us?
11 on the bit, lads. As far as I can read, 11 on the bit. It just gets tricky though, I can tell you that.
Absolutely. And Tommy, you're surprised by the volume of penalties. Everyone there, pretty much -4 drivers, seem to have picked up 3 seconds. Track limits a big issue around here?
Yeah, they are a big issue. Just the amount of places you can run over a curb, especially obviously the first, second corner, both then you can easily pick up penalties, and then the whole of the first sector really very tricky. The chicane as well, that would be a big penalty grabber as well, you know. So no, I'm not surprised. Maybe a bit less, I would have thought, because then quali definitely with the invalidations, but with the race pace now, not so much. But yeah, like I'm not surprised to see it. Let's say.
Yeah, and Nolan sitting in P2 at the moment, looking okay. Do you still think he's going to have to box again, or I think at this stage we're thinking he's probably going to stretch out the stint? Do you?
Yeah, I don't see like what he's going to do from now.
Oh, the Alpha Tauri's gone round and he's actually retired.
Green.
That could be a safety car.
Yeah. That could be a safety car.
And it is a safety car.
It is.
Yeah.
And DKF1 is looking very nice at the moment. So is Nolan. And that is shaking things up. Sorry to speak over you there, Tommy, but that is shaking things up a lot.
It's just it'd be interesting to see now if Nolan has a fresh set of softs that will suit him. But I don't know how many laps he did in this quali run, you know. So could have to go into the hards.
So Tommy,
that's what I was going to ask. I assume you're going to ask the same thing, Josh. What would you be doing from this stage? Is it a soft tyre from here home, or is it?
I would be going soft tyre. Yeah, I would be going soft tyre and just nursing it. I wouldn't be weaving, trying to warm up the tyres on the safety car. Just nursing it, and it should go to the end, you know.
Okay, well let's see what the lads do as they start to dive into the pits. And will anyone bypass the pits? It looks like Roswald has.
Roswald staying out on those hards. That is not a great decision, I would have said. DKF1 now on those soft tyres out into P5. So a lot of lads actually opting to stay out for the last few laps. Now I made this mistake before, last few laps a couple seasons ago. From around, I think it was second or third place into the pits, and all the lads passed me by and I couldn't get by them. So I think it depends on the amount of people that go into the pits. So if the top 4 lads there, they're going to hold up DKF1 and Nolan a lot. So it's going to be a tricky one for them, but it's not as if they had much of a choice out of the 2 lads. They definitely waited for, I think DKF1 played the patience game very, very well. Waiting for that safety car, and it has come out. So we'll see what he can do in those fresh softs now.
Yeah, and while you're still with us, Tommy, I mean, whose car would you like to be sitting in right now? You're looking at kind of 3 different main strategies going on. You've Roswald on a hard, you've Ducky sitting there in the mediums, and then you've the pack from kind of DKF1 down on the softs. Where would you rather be?
I would definitely I'd say TM Ducky's not in a bad position at all on those 3 lap mediums there. He'd be looking good. I definitely would not like to be on the hards, even if I was in P1 where Roswald is sitting right now. I definitely not the hards. Obviously DKF1 and Nolan 5th and 6th, obviously Nolan with the penalty, so not so much kind of safety car obviously really hurting the lads with penalties. DKF1 though on softs, yeah, definitely would like to be in his position as well. Just depends how quickly he can clear the cars in front though.
Very good. And obviously relative pace will come into this. As you said, how quickly can the lads get past each other? So this is all going to be very interesting now for probably the last 8 laps. We'd imagine we might get a racing, 7 even.
Yeah, I think the safety car should be in this lap, I'd imagine, I hope. Still a few lads going into the pits, changing their tyres. I think Blue Gunner's gone in.
Kachiga should definitely pit as well.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Unless he's made about 5 pit stops though, so I'm not sure if he has any set of tyres. He might have to go into the Inters, you know, just no tyres left, you know, play with, you know.
I'd say his pit crew are sweating as well. Those lads are knackered.
Yeah, he should go into the mediums, I would have thought. Yeah, 5 lap all mediums, so they'd be okay.
Yeah. But Tommy, looking at Kachiga now, he doesn't have any penalties. Do you think he can gain a lot of positions, get into the points possibly?
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, there's 7 or 8 cars, 6 or 7 or 8 even cars in front of him with all penalties, you know. So absolutely, if he can, he's gonna clear. Like those soft tires will be dying off, you know, towards the end of the race as well. So he'll have his chance. And I'm just looking here; he's penalty free as well, so he doesn't have to. He can push on as hard as he likes, you know, not worry about penalties. So I'm sure we'll see him making some progress towards the end of the race.
Yeah, we will for sure.
I think what's going to be interesting as well here, lads, is if the safety car comes in this lap, how quickly can the lads get the tyres fired up? I mean, those hards are tricky to get temperature into them, so will that play into the soft runners' hands more than, say, it would even have in the last game, where they're going to be able to get to racing speed much, much quicker? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, no, those hards will be, I think, on the on F1 22, it's definitely been a big difference since the last game in terms of warming up the hard tyres, let's say, in this part of the race where there's other people on different tyres around you on fresh softs and fresh mediums, you know, so it will be tricky. Like, they do take 2 or 3 laps to get back into their groove and get them going, let's say, you know.
Yeah, so that's going to be a tricky change. And that is a late call from the safety car.
Very late call,
my
yeah.
goodness. Race director needs a slap in the hand for that one.
Well, thank you anyway, Tommy. We'll make sure to come back to you, hopefully, at the end of the race. Roswald getting his tyres warmed up as much as he can. That is an extremely late call for the safety car to go in, but he is underway. He's gone, and it looks like Sanko is alongside TM Ducky, and he's backed out with a move. But now all eyes on DKF1 now, and he's gotten a little tap from the back there, and that's Williams gone round. That's Nolan gone round. He's now in the back of the grid. So that's so unfortunate for him. But DKF1 a second now behind K Flemo. He'll be wanting to make a lot of ground very quickly and get past K Flemo on the hard, because he'll be holding them up a good chunk.
Yeah, and Ducky already is all over the back of Roswald. You can see how quickly he's been able to switch on that medium tyre. So can he get the move done? The longer this race goes on, the more Roswald will hopefully get himself up to racing speed from his perspective.
Yeah, while we're looking at the front, let's have a look at the back here. Kachiga already up into P10 with 6 people with penalties ahead of him. So if he keeps the pace up, he can gain a hell of a lot of positions. Won't quite be a podium, but it'll definitely be possibly a P5.
Yeah, and O'Connor having a look around the outside of the Fonz here, but gets crowded out. And now Blue Gunner looking at the inside of O'Connor, but they all keep
Griffin through the inside of OP Gamer there, second last corner. A little bit of wheel banging into the grass goes OP Gamer, and Griffin ahead just behind his teammate on those fresh tyres, and that's Pat Kenny into the pits for damage, I'd imagine. Oh, is that the Fonz gone round? Or is he also into the pits?
No, he's
spun around, yeah. He spun in the last turn.
And Griffin now very close to his teammate, and that's a change in the lead. Ducky into the lead, he goes. Roswald now at risk from the cars behind him. He doesn't have Ducky behind him to keep him safe, as Twin Gene gets himself a penalty. So TM Ducky will be wanting to bridge a good gap now between himself and Roswald. So
and Griffin is going around the outside of his teammate here, Josh, and I wonder will DKF1 yield. I think definitely Griffin is the quicker of the two at the moment, but both on the same strategy. This is going to be interesting.
And he gets past him just before turn 9.
Yeah. And now Griffin will be having a look at Kay Flemo, and you can see the difference in grip
Yeah.
he has. Even without DRS, he has so much extra speed down this straight.
Oh,
And Kay Flemo squeezes him.
very close to 2R. A lot of wheel banging, but Griffin makes a move happen. With those softs, he is making the most out of them as
And
early
his
as possible.
teammates through as well. We've a Haas around. I think that's the
That's
Fonz,
the Fonz
is it?
once again, yeah. So now this win is looking very nice for Griffin, but on track it will be because he does have that penalty. So it's unfortunate that he has that. You never like to see penalties come into play as Sanko gets himself another penalty.
Yeah.
So the good points are looking very are looking on for Kachiga here, and DKF1 could see himself on the podium possibly. But Griffin now round the outside of your corner, Cav, gets it done for now though, and yeah, that's him through. Griffin into P3 on track, a second behind Roswald. Can he get the win? He may get it on track, but can he pull a 3-second gap from the leader? He has 5 laps to do it.
Last lap around, even with traffic,
Oh,
and
Ducky's
Ducky
got
gets a
himself a penalty.
So that levels everything out.
It's looking on for Griffin now to get a podium.
Yeah, he has to get by Roswald first, but last time around, even with traffic, Griffin done a 1:21.7. Ducky on the mediums at 22.2, so not much between them, but he doesn't need to do much here, Griffin, once he gets past Roswald. There's not a
Kachiga
big
now,
gap.
second last corner, going side by side with Twin Gene. Thinks someone's round, that's a Mercedes, but Twin Gene just about staying ahead of Kachiga. But there is DKF1 gone through on Sanko, and DKF1 up into P4 now. Griffin up into P2, gone past Roswald. He has 1.7 seconds to make up now to get TM Ducky for the lead on track, as Kachiga now goes past Twin Gene, gets the move done. Twin Gene does have a Williams alongside
Griffin's
him.
out! Griffin's
Oh!
crashed! And it was on my turn! Oh my goodness. Everything
On the
happening
calf
there.
corner, he has crashed, and that's another safety car. So Tommy,
Wow.
we'll go to you now. All eyes on Kachiga. Could he have a podium?
He actually, he's a very good chance of ending up at the podium now. In terms of the win, I think DK is probably in the best position. Roswell, those cars seem to be really struggling there.
That's for
And
sure.
Ducky obviously with the penalty, you know, and then other than Kachiga and DK, everyone has penalties, so, you know, the penalty-free lads are
Now,
in business now.
Tommy, you're in that race, let's say. Would you go in for softs if you're, say, Roswald or Sanko, Kay Flemo? Would you go in for a fresh set of tyres?
No, and there won't be enough racing laps at the end. I might only get 2 or 3, you know, so not enough racing laps at the end. I would have, if you had asked me that question, the safety car had just gone by, absolutely would have stopped, but no, not this one.
Yeah, it's too late now. But for TM Ducky, it doesn't seem to be too late for him. He's gone into the pits along with Kay Flemo. So
it's interesting.
That is very interesting, and it has TM Ducky thrown away a podium completely now. And Kachiga now P4 on track, but with penalties P3. So Kachiga looking very, very good for a great position here with everyone behind him with penalties.
Yeah, so Ducky on fresh rubber, but a lot of work to do, and it's not as if he has lads in front of him either whose tyres are completely shot. So this is going to be interesting, but definitely seems like a mistake.
Yeah, not a great call from TM Ducky there, strategy-wise. Down into P6 from the lead. At that stage, as Tommy, you said, you have to stay out. You've made the decision earlier on when there was 10 laps to go. Now there's only maybe 3 racing laps possibly. So your decision has been made, but TM Ducky has gone in. He does have fresh rubber, but he does also have a penalty.
Safety car will have to go around one more revolution, so we're probably looking at 2 racing laps at best here. So can anyone get the moves they need done? This TM Ducky nearly goes into the back of Nolan there.
Saying that, could the safety car go in this lap? Is it possible for it to go in, or does it have to stay out for another lap?
don't believe it can go in
has
the
to
lap
stay
it
out
picks up the
for,
pack, can it?
Just has to stay out for one full lap and then it can go. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
I don't just
Okay.
Yeah.
doing the next site.
So it'll be 2 racing laps then we're going to get.
Yeah, unfortunately the Michael Massey DLC isn't out yet. I believe if you download that, you can do pretty much what you want.
Yeah.
Although we did see the old Sector 3 pulling the safety car in as it passes the pit lane, so who knows, but no, we are going around again once more.
Yeah.
So we're going to get 2 racing laps here.
Yeah, I think maybe possibly with the only a couple racing laps left, we could see more interesting dive bombs from a few of the lads, especially people who have penalties, who have pretty much nothing to lose. So like Sanko, he knows that the podium isn't on, so if he gets a car in between himself and Kachiga, could possibly bridge that gap. So we could see some a few dive bombs from a few of the lads with penalties for sure. So on the topic of penalties, Sanko actually has 6 seconds of penalties, so that's him off that podium completely pretty much. Of course, Roswald, DKF1 and Kachiga being our only 3 drivers in the top 4 who do not have penalties. Then we have Nolan TM Ducky with 3 seconds, OP Gamer with 6, 3 seconds down from K Flemo to O'Connor, and we have 6 seconds for Pat Kenny, and Twin Gene actually has 9 seconds of penalties, so that's a lot. That's going to be him out with the points for sure, and Blue Gunner and the Fawns having 3 seconds. So it's very interesting with penalties. It is a very easy track to get penalties, especially these 2 turns we're going in, as safety car is going in this lap.
That's a better notification, thank you,
Yeah.
Michael. And just while Kajoko was asking in the chat there, so Roswald and DKF1 are sitting on 1 warning apiece, and then we have Kachiga with 2 warnings, living life a little more dangerously in P4.
Okay, yeah. Yes, Kachiga I think will be sweating now holding that controller, just trying to keep it clean, trying to keep the pace up with Sanko. Don't think he doesn't need to take much risks, because even if he drops a couple of positions, everyone behind him has penalties. So I think it'll be all eyes on Kachiga for a surprise podium. And but yeah, Roswald will be trying to heat up those tires as much as he possibly can. Roswald now on those hards, of course, the old hards with DKF1 behind him, so that'll be the battle for the win between the 2 of them. So let's see when Roswald's going to go. Will he go in an awkward place for the car behind him? He is. Roswald is underway, and DKF1 seems to get a pretty decent restart, and Kachiga has actually overtaken Sanko off this restart. So Kachiga up to P3.
Gotten into someone, it's Ducky. Ducky's around.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Ducky, down into the back at the grid now. But we have OP Gamer just was at the back, and Kachiga has got a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags.
I would imagine that's for not returning the position to Sanko.
Yeah,
we'll
it
wait
could
and see
be.
how that plays out afterwards with a steward's inquiry. That could be interesting, because Sanko was way too slow on the straight at the restart, so I don't know if there's much Kachiga could have done there, but we'll leave that till after the race. DKF1 now chasing down Roswald, and can Roswald hang on? We Blue Gunner out as well. Wow.
So 12 runners left. We do have a DKF1 right behind Roswald. We do not have DRS. We won't have DRS for the end of this race. So Roswald is a little bit more safe than he was before now. We have a yellow flag. I think that's a Mercedes, or is it the Alfa Romeo? There's a yellow flag there anyway. But DKF1 will need to use ERS to his advantage, try and get the best exit possible using those soft tyres, which will be pretty much off the cliff by now. But he has seemed to get a good exit off of Roswald. Roswald trying to break the toe from DKF1.
I'm looking quick in a straight line, in fairness, though.
Looking very quick in a straight line. The advantage of DRS is not going to help DKF1 out, as we have not had 3 racing laps yet, or 2 full racing laps, and that's OP Gamer also out with a session. So 11 runners left, and DKF1 still behind Roswald. Roswald having great pace on those old hards, and that's Twin Gene also out
as well. Yeah.
So if you finish this race, you're going to get points, and that's a poor exit.
Sanko's around.
That's a poor exit from Roswald now. Roswald will have DKF1 very close to the back of him. Roswald doesn't have enough ERS to defend against DKF1. DK going around the outside, using every drop of ERS he has. This is the last chance he'll get. Through turn 9, gets the move done, and he is open to the lead in this race. But Roswald has gotten a better exit, but will he have enough ERS to get the position back on DKF1? Will he go for a dive around the outside on DK? No, but he'll go for a switch back on DKF1. And DK tries to hold on to it, but he can't. Around the outside he goes. Into the gravel he goes as well. But this is not over yet. Last couple corners. This is where this is desperate here from the two lads. DKF1 doesn't get a great exit. Roswald, he is going to cross the line and win the Australian Grand Prix. What a race that was down to the last few corners.
Absolutely, and there was some squeaky bums getting across the line there. O'Connor literally 800s behind LOI Nolan.
Yeah.
Wow. Who was only a tenth and a half behind Flemo. Kachiga obviously has dropped way down the order due to that penalty, but I think he might be okay with that one. We'll obviously leave it up to the stewards, but he might feel that he was harshly done there due to Sanko's mistake.
Yeah, yeah, no, what a race that was. See the two lads getting quite desperate towards the last couple corners to get that position. The dive bombs were happening, but it was truly a great race and truly deserved for Roswald, of course.
Yeah, so we'll get ourselves through the finishing order, and then we might get Tommy's thoughts after that and what he thought of that race and that finish.
Yeah. Right, I'll get the race director now.
Fantastic, and I'll bring us through the order. So winning the Australian Grand Prix in the Haas is Roswald, pole position and of course the race win. We have DKF1 in P2, K Flemo rounding out the podium, at least on track with everything adjusted, in P3, although I'm sure Kachiga will have something to say about that.
Yeah.
LOI Nolan in P4 in the Williams, we have O'Connor in the McLaren in P5, the Fonz in P6 in the Hess, Kachiga in P7, we have Pa Kenny in P8 in his Tier 3 debut. Sanko unfortunately dropped down to P9, and TM Ducky crosses the line last in P10, but in fairness to him, he kept going and got that last point. We lost very close to the end Twin Gene, OP Gamer, and of course Blue Gunner. Griffin, Reen, Glenn Mack all retired very early on, and I'm not sure A Whelan made it off the start grid, but that's another today's discussion. So, with all that in mind, Tommy, you're our expert. What did you make of all that?
Those last two laps were pretty insane, you know. Big shout out to Roswald, obviously holding off DKF1 on the hearts. That's not easy to do, you know. Brilliant race from the lads though, you know. Fantastic race to watch.
Yeah, it really was good. And if you were to pick for yourself a driver of the day, Tommy, who do you think really shined, or maybe had a bad quali and made the most of the race? Who do you think was outstanding there today?
I had in my mind, I was thinking about this. I had Roswald, obviously the race winner, but I just thought he drove a very clean race. I don't think he put a foot wrong at all.
Yeah.
Obviously his only, the only argument you say against that was his pit stop, his decision making with the hards that could have went wrong. But anyone can make it's not a vital mistake. It's not a mistake on track. Even the Tier 1 lads make that mistake. But other than that, he didn't put a foot wrong on track, and yeah, he's my driver of the day anyways.
Thank you very much, Tommy, and thanks of course for all of your input during the session. It's been great to have you today. No problem. Right, as we wait for the podium sitters to come in, and I think we'll get the top 3 on track plus Kachiga, because we've a feeling something might happen there obviously, but yeah, what a race.
Yeah, that was definitely a very hectic race. We saw a lot of retirements towards the end, and a very great race great battle for the lead, of course. Roswell coming better, but it was definitely a spectacular battle that was. So if we have, do we have everyone in? I think we're waiting on two lads. We're waiting on So we'll give him another few minutes then. Let's get in.
Absolutely. What a race, yeah. My goodness.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely a track where, as we said earlier on, even in qualifying, it's a track where you're going to see a lot of retirements, and that's something we saw today. Everybody who finished got points, and also a lot of penalties came into play. But it was good that the top two lads fighting for the win on track, and it's just great to see a battle going all the way down to the last lap. But yeah, definitely was spectacular to see.
Yeah, so look, we may not wait any longer. I think will we get kicking, Josh? I suppose if you want to start with Mr. Kachiga, we can get
Of course. Kachiga, how are we?
Okay, that's enough from Kachiga this week, and we'll move now swiftly on to Roswell.
No, look, I only joined because I don't know if you've seen fucking when Sanko spun at the safety car restart.
Yeah.
He spun like, so I just continue on because I wasn't fucking stopping the car.
Okay, he spawned on the restart. We didn't see that.
Yeah, he spun on the restart. So like, and it was telling me to give the position back. I was like, fuck that! I'm like, give position back after spinning. Like, what's wrong with this game?
Fair. It'll be a Stewart's inquiry anyway.
Yeah, it will. That's the reason why I go, like, that. Like, this game is fucking stupid with fucking shit like that.
But you're happy with the result, I'm guessing, with the team song coming in.
Yeah.
How did you make of that race altogether for yourself?
What the fucking until the incident with Roz, then I had an incident then with I think it was Twin Gene there in Sector 2, fucking the Fast 3. He lost his car, like, and then when he came back onto the racing line, from my point of view anyway, like he hit me wing, like, and I got damaged, like, and then I went into the pits, pitted, didn't change my wing for some reason, and then I was like, are you joking me? Like, I didn't realise until I actually left the pits. I was like, didn't change my wing. And she was on auto and everything, like, so I had to pit again. I went on to softs, and I just used my ERS, begging for a safety car. And like, I know a lot of lads who were in that position, who would have been in that position, but it just folded up like a decking chair and just put away back into the fucking shed and just retired. I was like, nah, I'm not retiring, like, because you never know what happened. And obviously, what happened is that I am on the podium anyway, like, but we don't know what place I'm going to get on the podium. But and then the last lap was crazy, like, because I was just being so careful, like I could have gone for a move into turn 12, because who was it? Was it you, DK? The car, like, you got a bad entry and then you got a bad exit. And then going into 13, I was like, nah, I'm not risking it. And I went deep into 13, and yeah. So I could have had to win, like, if I had my balls on me, like, but I was like, I'd rather finish the race than get no points.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's great to see you back in form. It's great to see you on the podium, Kachiga.
Yeah.
What do you make of next week now? How are you feeling?
What track
No, I'll get the track up. I'm not.
It's Abu Dhabi we go to next week.
Ooh, Abu Dhabi, that's a fairly dodgy one.
Actual Abu
do you
Dhabi,
think?
yeah? The
It is
actual
Abu-
Abu Dhabi race, or are you just saying?
No, it is
It's Abu Dhabi, yeah.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
variated
I
track
don't mind
now
that.
for this year.
I don't mind that. I know a lot of lads love to spin underneath the hotel there, like, so. And obviously, you know, being on wheel, like, you know, you get them good old wheel saves. Like that the controller boy can't get, like, you know, so yeah, it'd be exciting for that, like.
Very good. Right, thanks for hopping in with us, Kachiga. And good luck to you.
And for anyone wondering, you will not hear from Kachiga again this season. So thank you very much, Ben. Well raced today. And we'll move on to the man who crossed the line, according to the game at least, in P3. Kay Flemo, from one cousin to another. How are you?
All right, bro.
Representing the family well this week. We're not exactly sure, obviously, how everything's going to play out with penalties. I think we have, certainly in Kachiga's case, something that's quite contentious. But how was your session overall? Talk us through it. Start with quali for me.
Quali, not happy with the lap. I stayed fifth, I think, was it? On the
Correct,
fourth
you started
lap.
P5, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely had a 17 in there. comfortably. I just invalidated the second lap when I was a few tenths up, I think. And the last lap I caught a bit of traffic, so I just aborted it. But the third place crossed the line. What happened with Katiga? He spun.
No, he was penalised by the game for overtaking someone who'd spun on their safety car. So
Well, you're only allowed to overtake if they spin off the track.
Yeah, I don't think I
or
don't.
are significantly
No,
recovering.
if
So
yeah, if the car is, let's say, stranded or stopped at all, you're allowed to overtake.
I have a word from one of the head admins. Well, the head admin.
oh
tier
my
3.
goodness, the head admin.
The head admin. He doesn't believe it's going to get removed because there was one similar last week that didn't. So, but we don't know. We don't know until the report comes out.
Us at Red Bull will be appealing that.
Okay.
Of course, as usual.
Well, putting that aside for now, Carol, tell us about your race then. So obviously it was a up and down race. It was quite settled for the first half without safety cars, and then an awful lot happened in the kind of last half of the race. How did it go for you?
Yeah, I felt comfortable out there. Obviously, I put the grind in this week. Haven't done that since we started back, but I'll be doing it from now on because it shows you it pays off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt comfortable. I was, I think, 2 seconds off the leaders, and Glenn came out of the pits, and it didn't look like he was ghosting as the back marker, so I just literally let off because I didn't know what was going to happen, and that gave me the 4 or 5 second gap then to the two boys out in front.
Gotcha.
But I was matching them pace for pace, so I was fairly happy with my pace. I thought I was a bit mad putting the sauce on at the end there, but it seems to work out. I knew we'd get 2 racing laps, and I knew there'd be a bit of carnage up front. So I'm happy enough. If it's P4, it's P4, but we'll be appealing.
No issue at all. You've made your position very clear on that, Christian Horner. Be proud. And tell us then, going into Abu Dhabi next week, how do you feel around there? Obviously, just some changes to the track for F122. Do you feel you have the pace?
No, I love that track. Yeah, I'll definitely have the pace there. Yeah.
Great stuff. Well, look, glad to talk to you as always, and obviously,
but
hopefully,
good
we'll be
man,
talking to you this
Roswell.
time next week.
Thank you. Right. Moving on to our second place, DKF1. You lost out on the win, but in spectacular fashion. It was a great race to watch, on your point of view. So how did you think of that? Yeah, we can hear you okay. Yeah.
Sorry to cut across you, DK. It just doesn't seem like your audio is shared. We just have a couple of people in the chat saying they can't hear you. You might just fix that up there if you don't mind, if you know how. Let's get your voice out there.
If you go into party settings, it should be share voice audio.
Yeah. Take your time.
It should be in the
share audio settings, yeah.
Yeah.
Take your time. We've a very concerned chat that want to hear everything you say, so I think people are afraid they might miss out on some tips. You got it sorted?
Hold on, I'm just going down. Push to talk. Can you hear me now?
Well, as well as now on the stream, sure.
Just going to audio settings now, so it should. I have buttons there. Push to talk on. Mute by default off, and then voice chat on.
Oh,
Do you
these
see
will
where it
be in
says-
your PlayStation settings.
Do you see where it says allow your voice to be shared? Do you have that anywhere?
Are you on PS4 or 5?
PS5.
Okay, I can't help you.
So what to do is, if you go into your actual PlayStation settings, bring up the settings menu there, DK, and I'll talk you through it. So, no, you're grand.
No problem.
Not the first and won't be the last, but we may as well have you heard. So go into your main PlayStation settings screen, and then at the very bottom you should see captures and broadcasts. And then you should see an audio option, and you should have an option to turn on include voice chat audio. Yeah. That should be the one, I think, that resolves that part. Hopefully, sure, with Steam on, and if not, we'll get it sorted for next week either way. So, sorry, lads.
Yeah, I don't think it is on the stream, but sure. Look, we heard what you had to say about the race, but obviously it was a great race for yourself. Are you disappointed with the result, or are you happy out with it? Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm. Fair. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of Abu Dhabi, how do you feel going into that race? Are you confident? Do you think you can get a podium again? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's very good. Thank you very much, DKF1. Great race from yourself. Right, and then Cav, you can take it away with our winner, Roswald.
Oswald, how are we?
Feeling good.
I imagine so. We've had to. Geez, you sound so chill. Did you break sweat in that race at all? We'll come to that in a second. But I suppose, quali P1 race P1 sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Sounds amazing. Quali. Done the second lap. I was disappointed in the fast beach chicane. I had to just put it away and then go for it again in the last one. I knew people were going to improve, so I just put the foot to the floor, honestly, and just went, I'm just going to try and just really risk it here. If I put it in the wall, sure, I've got a decent lap.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And did you
So
feel
I
that
took the
was every tenth you had to squeeze out of it, or did you have a bit more pace in the bag still? How was the
think I
lap
had
overall?
I think I had about 1 or 2 tenths. Every time I
Right.
practiced, I got around about an 18.1 was probably the best I could get, and I got an 18.3, so I'll take it. I will take it.
Excellent. And then the race, I mean, as I was saying to Kay Flemo, it was kind of a race of two halves. First half was very settled, people obviously finding their rhythm, finding their tire temps, all that sort of stuff. And then second half became, a bit more haphazard and safety cars and strategy and tire changes and obviously fast decisions. Talk us through the two halves. How was it for you?
I was so shocked. We'll start off with a start. I didn't get the best start. I can't remember who flew past me. It was an Aston Martin Griffin maybe, or
Yeah,
somebody.
it was Griffin, yeah.
Somebody flew past me, so I just sort of just said to myself, just keep ahead, you'll be grand. He might have been on softs, but I don't think he was. But I keep it going, and then there was a remarkable long part of the race where there was just no safety cars, and I was like, there's no way there's not going to be a safety car in this race, because there was a virtual one early, and I was like, right, I'm not changing the tires, stick to strategy. But I don't know how I managed to stick to the one stop even with all the safety cars. I just thought that giving up my track position
Yeah.
at any stage just wasn't going to be the play for me at any point that either any safety car came out. So I'm just glad I stuck to my guns and put it across the line first.
And we've seen obviously a great battle laid on between you and
That was
DKF1.
amazing.
Yeah, how was that for you from your perspective? It looked like it was all, as much as you can with these bigger cars and understeery cars. And I'm sure the tire temps and stuff were off as well, as clean as possible and really good racing.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, DK, great racing, man. Seriously, respect to you, respect to everybody else. But as soon as DK got ahead of me, I was like, there's no way you're choking this, like.
Yeah.
And then they get second.
Yeah.
No, you're not choking it. So I was just really hoping that DK would go a bit deep and then pull a switchback, and it was good, respectful racing, but it was hard racing, and we got the line clean, which is what you want to see.
Absolutely, and I think those last couple of laps, I think we're all on the edge of our seat, myself, Tommy and Josh, and that switchback, I mean, I'm sure someone will stick it on TikTok if you don't do it yourself, so I'd get it up there
Somebody
quick.
stick it in TikTok, please. Everybody has my permission, get it up.
Okay, I'd say Blue Gutter will have it up in about 3 minutes, but however. Tell us then, last two from me, Roswald. I mean, this is a great result for you. Obviously, there's been a few quick lads who are in the tier have moved up, the likes of Shane, for example. You must fancy yourself for this title this season, do you?
I'm fancying it. I wasn't going to come back, and it was a fairly
really?
last minute decision. I was going to give it another season and then come back because I'm really busy. But I just thought, I got the game and I went, my pace is good. I like the feeling of these cars. They suit my driving style a wee bit better, a lot better than last year. So I was like, go for it now. Just get on, just go for it. And I'm glad I did, because I really feel like I can contend up at the top of the table this season, and I'm looking forward to racing with all the boys every week.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the rest of the lads aren't too happy that you've unbusied yourself, but it's great to have, obviously, you in the race today, and you've certainly put on a show for us. Abu Dhabi next week. How are you around there? How do you feel?
I love racing Abu Dhabi, but unfortunately, I'm going to be in Italy. Actually in Italy, like on holiday, so everybody else get the points. I'm just...
Unbusy yourself, Roswald. I don't care what you have to do to make it happen, but we want you here next Sunday.
Priorities need to be set.
Unfortunately, I'm in Italy, so as much as I would love to be in Abu Dhabi, Italy,
Bring the PlayStation over to Italy with you.
Yeah, or find one.
You know what?
Absolutely.
I'll try and convince the girlfriend to have one. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. You're going over with, not a chance. I think we've been family.
No way.
It's not happening.
No chance.
Roswell, just think of how much she will just look at you with that glint in her eye if you're a tier 3 champion. I mean, it changes lives. I know. Don't you undervalue that either. She has to understand that.
You know what? I'll tell her to watch it back, and you can tell her. You boys just tell her for me. Let me listen Abu Dhabi next week, please.
Right, Josh, you tell her.
Go on, Tommy.
Tommy, go. Somebody
Brilliant. Brilliant, well, Roswell. Thank you very much. And listen, obviously, then we'll see you hopefully in 2 weeks' time. So best of luck and enjoy Italy. Well done.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's us for today. Thank you to the podium sitters, especially Roswald, putting on a great show the last couple of laps. And big thank you to our expert coming on today, Tommy. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem, pleasure,
and yeah, thank you once again for tuning in today. Do tune in again tomorrow. It will be tier 4 tomorrow at the same time in Australia, and then we'll be back, myself and Cav, next Sunday in Abu Dhabi, same time as tonight. So once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again.